Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be shedding light on the ample problems pertaining to companies not having a motivated workforce. So, why is it deemed to be problematic for companies to not have a motivated workforce? Without further ado, without further delay, allow me to demystify that answer to that inquiry right here, right now. Not having a motivated workforce can yield a lugubrious outcome for companies when workers are demoralized, when they are dispirited, when they are disheartened, when they are unmotivated to do anything. It undermines workforce productivity. Furthermore, it also can culminate in the company succumbing to higher employee attrition rates. It could also culminate in them succumbing to decreased employee retention rates. In other words, nothing beneficent, nothing fruitful, nothing desirable, nothing salubrious can ever ensue from companies lacking a motivated workforce. So it is a calamitous predicament for companies to succumb to if their workforce is eminently unmotivated to do anything. It is going to yield higher employee training costs. It is going to yield lower employee retention rates. It is going to yield higher employee attrition rates. And it's going to be an unpleasant experience for employees to brook. You want to be able to cultivate, you want to be able to foster a robust, salubrious organizational culture. You do not want the ambience to be dreary, drab, dismal, nor depressing. You do not want it to feel moribund. You want people to be imbued with energy. You want people to be reinvigorated. You want people to be ready and raring to work. You want people to be riled up so that they are all the more content with working in the pending future. When people are demoralized, unmotivated, disheartened, despondent, depressed, anxious, nervous, lackadaisical, and deterred to do anything, it is going to severely undermine workforce productivity, which is going to adversely impinge on your ability to maximize your profits. Companies are keen on maximizing their profits in tandem with maximizing the wealth of their shareholders. If you want to more efficaciously achieve these objectives, to attain profit maximization and maximize the wealth of your shareholders, then it would behoove you to create the requisite conditions to draw forth a highly motivated workforce. When companies lack a motivated workforce, it can yield direful ramifications, especially if it impinges on their ability to even remain profitable if they have infinitesimal profit margins. Most companies have high profit margins, so they have a buffer. The workforce is semi-productive in lieu of being highly productive. they can still thrive, prosper, and flourish. The profit margins are lofty enough. It allows them to make a dispensation for not having a highly motivated workforce. However, you can be a far more lucrative company and a far more profitable company if your employees are highly motivated to work. You want them to exude their utmost diligent effort in fulfilling their responsibilities. You want them to be sedulous, diligent, confident, competent, knowledgeable, adept, and of course, highly motivated. You cannot easily galvanize everyone to take action. Sometimes people need to be self-motivated. They are not fond of the company's overarching vision. They do not give an iota about whether or not the company is able to reach its daily objectives and long-term overarching goals. Then they're going to be all the more apt, all the more poised, and all the more primed to be unmotivated relative to other employees who are eager to have the company's overarching, grandiose, ambitious, lofty vision be actualized. So, companies strive to hire highly motivated employees. They do not want to constantly train new employees. They do not want their employee turnover rates to be high. They do not want their organizational culture to be dreary, drab, nor depressing, nor insalubrious. They want it to be salubrious, and pleasant. Nor do they want it to be gloomy. So, if a company lacks a motivated workforce, it can redound to their disadvantage. It can yield adverse repercussions, and the ramifications of lacking a motivated workforce can be costly, especially in contexts in which your profit margins are negligible and infinitesimal. If you're struggling to break even, and if your new workforce that you ushered in is unmotivated to be tenacious and work hard, then it's going to be all the more cumbersome, all the more arduous, and all the more ineffably difficult to even break even or surpass the break-even threshold. You do not want to operate an enterprise to solely break even. You want to be profitable. And if you have highly motivated employees, it is easier to become a lucrative company, especially if those employees are keen on amplifying their competencies, expanding their repertoire, and amplifying their knowledge. You want to be able to grow exponentially and not stagnate. And people lack motivation, especially employees. And not only culminates in potentially putting a damper on other people's mood, but they're also depressed as a result of their brethrens, who they work with, being depressed. But it also can severely undermine workforce productivity, especially in the long haul. And especially if the entirety of the workforce is unmotivated to do anything, is lackadaisical, and is depressed. No one wants to have a dreadful work environment to work in. They do not want to be tethered to a dreadful work environment. So, you want employees to be highly motivated and optimistic and not pessimistic nor unmotivated. So, I hope that you deem this video to be insightful and enthralling. Have a blissful day. Goodbye.